New Home Depot.
New Home Depot? What? Who this?
Kendra is holding the PVC pipe. We're getting this one to make a shotgun rail, and we got blades.
Blades, bro.
Don't hit me with that. Jeez. No, I'm not trying to joust right now.
We have the card, and follow me. We're keeping it simple, so you kids at home can do this with ease. But we're gonna get one of these 4x6s, then put coping on the side. We're also using Kendra's big chopsticks, and we're gonna make a rail out of that too. When you're buying wood, always make sure the wood is straight, and how you can check it is you look down it like it's a sniper rifle. You can always see just a little bit of a curve, like this one curves a little to the right, which is fine, because luckily, this piece of wood is only gonna be used for the legs. For example, we're using these as like the platforms for the rails, so you want them to be as straight as possible, so whenever you do, let's say, drill these plastic posts on, it's not gonna be off center, it's gonna be perfect. You have a perfect rail. And Kendra's gonna grind it. It's gonna be her first grind.
Wait.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that.
No, we did.
No, we didn't.
We just did. And it's fun. I know you're scared, but you'll make it through.
I was scared going over a 1-inch step. You think that I'm gonna grind on this?
What do you want?
I left my wallet back at the house, so I want $1.39 so that I can buy my hot Cheetos.
How about you buy some screws for us?
Screw that, man.
Fit.
We're going.
I'm really afraid.
Hi, if you ever wanted to know what the sky looked like behind you, all you gotta do is put it in reverse, and boom.
We return back to the house. So the first thing that we're gonna do right here, we're gonna make a metal rail, and we're also gonna make a PVC rail. So for the metal rail, we got these nice pieces of angled coping, and essentially they're gonna sit on the edges like this, and also like this, so that way the rail will look like that, and you'll basically be able to grind just on this flat surface of the metal, so it'll be basically 100% metal rail, except for this little gap right here, but that won't be much of an issue. As you can see right now, these pieces of metal don't cover the entire rail, so we bought an extra piece of metal that we're gonna cut in half. And each one of these pieces of metal are 6 feet long. And we're gonna cut this rail in half, so it's a 3-foot and a 3-foot section. And we're gonna put the 3-foot section, it's gonna end about right here. And we're gonna take this piece, flip it around, put it right here, so that way the rail will be 9 feet long in the total length. These pieces of wood right here are 10 feet long, so we're gonna need to cut this a foot down, but that's not gonna be much of an issue. Going over to the PVC rail, the same thing that we did on the metal rail, except we're gonna have these 2 PVC pipes that are gonna sit on top of the rail just like this. We're gonna drill holes in the pieces of PVC so we can screw the screws down, they'll sit on here nicely. But fortunately on this rail, the pieces of PVC are 10 feet long and the piece of wood is 10 feet long, so there's gonna be no cutting required. What we're gonna do with the 2x4 over here is we're gonna cut it into little sections that are gonna be the feet for both of the rails. And yeah, then we'll have 2 pretty sick rails. Watch us on the adventure.
Julian, get something.
Bam. So this rail is 12 feet long. They're gonna get 3 little legs that are gonna go and sit on the bottom of the rails. Because this is 12 feet long, each rail requires 3 little feet. That means that each foot is gonna be 2 feet long. And the imperial system is so confusing. So many feet. My foot itches.
So I'm gonna mark 2 feet with a mark, and then cut it with this, and then we'll have our legs ready to go. Luckily, this is probably the easiest way you can possibly make a rail, so if you guys have ever wanted a rail, this is the way to do it. And it's probably gonna only take us a couple hours, but at the end of it, let's see how long this is gonna take. I'm actually curious. We'll see. I'm guessing like an hour and a half. I don't know about Will, but. When you know, when you're cutting things, wear safety goggles, and I'm stupid, so.
We got the feet cut. I'm gonna mark the center of each one of these feet so that way we know where the center is. So when we screw it onto this long piece of wood, it'll all be nice and centered and be perfect. Because this log is 10 feet long, I'm gonna put it right in the 5-foot mark. Bam.
Wow, Will, spectacular job. Ooh.
The next step is we're gonna put on the PVC coping. Here, scoot it down just a tiny bit.
In order to get the screws into the PVC pipe, we're gonna have to drill little holes, which won't affect your grinding. You may think it would, but every time I've ever ridden a PVC pipe rail or a rail with a hole in it, I've never had an issue with it. At this point, I'm just eyeballing it. It's not necessarily like a big deal if you get it a little bit off, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But I am gonna off center them a little bit so there isn't two holes in the same spot that will maybe end up making you catch. So that if they're a little bit off, it'll make it so you slide over both of them nicely. Oh, we gotta put the Kraken in. Scratch that, we gotta put the Kraken of all drill bits in. This thing's a monster. There we go. Should we do a deck test? Thank you, Scooter Deck. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to. Only pain is like getting it through the plastic, and then once it's through the plastic, it just flawless. Look at that. This thing's holding up.
We got all of the countersink holes screwed in. Now we're just gonna do the ends, and basically the way we're gonna attack that is hitting it from an angle.
Boom.
And that's a rail.
How long did that take?
We're at 32 minutes.
And we built one rail in 32
We
minutes.
built one rail.
All right, let's see how long it takes to build this other one. Taking it old school because our blade is not big enough to cut this whole thing. So, manual labor. And I got glasses this time, don't worry. Finish it.
That's an art piece right there.
It really is. It's like a little piece of alfalfa.
I just broke it in half.
Normally when I counter stuff, I only go a little bit just to get the screw in there, but we don't have metal screws, so I'm gonna counter it all the way to the wood. I think it should work. I think it's done it. Give it a little test.
Here's the square rail so far. It's looking pretty fantastic. I was kind of concerned about these little gaps right here, but they seem to be non-existent. We'll hit it with a little bit of a sander, but right now we're gonna put on the legs. Let's get it done. So all we gotta do right now is just screw in the feet and the rail is done. We are at 39 minutes, and this total procedure took an hour and 12 minutes. The entire thing. If you guys wanna make some rails and you have a spare hour in your day and a spare $100, make some rails, it's easy.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. 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 Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Damn.